When you think about testosterone, what do you think about? The Hulk? Do you think about men's only business? Do you think about this is only for men? What do you think about when you think testosterone? Well, what if I was to tell you that you need this hormone to make estrogen? So it's as important for females as it is for males. So in today's topic, I'm going to talk about this hormone. What is testosterone? Why do we need it? What happens when we are low in testosterone? What can we do to naturally boost that testosterone? And this is for both males and females. I'm going to dig deep into this hormone and let you guys know, and girls, know all about it. Stay tuned. It's Mondays with Mihaela. That's right, me. Thank you so much for tuning in to this video. I absolutely love and appreciate support. Thank you so much for allowing my channel to grow to where it is. I'm loving your support. Today's topic is such an interesting one because when we think about testosterone, we only think about men. And we only think about it's important for men and females don't need it. But I'm going to flip this the other way and let you know that as humans, male or female, we need this hormone to be balanced. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. But to get the basics of it, I thought let's go into a little bit of detail about what is testosterone. What is it? Well, it is a hormone produced by the human body in both males and females. So we both have it. That's right, I have testosterone in me. So the National Institute of Health regards testosterone as the most important male hormone. So yes, you are right. It is important for males, but it's also important for females. And you're going to find out later why. So women also produce this hormone, but at a much lower rate than men. Some females produce a little bit more, but that is an issue. So testosterone is an anabolic steroid. What that means is it builds, so it helps with growth and repair. And this is why it's important if you are training or if you are repairing from anything. Testosterone is produced in the testes, the ovaries, and the adrenal glands. So both male and female. It's an androgen, which means it stimulates the development of male characteristics such as a deepening of the voice, such as hair growth, and so forth, like muscle. Testosterone levels are carefully controlled by the pituitary gland, which is initiated by the hypothalamus, which is key for optimum health. So what happens is, in men, the hypothalamus triggers the pituitary gland to release, it goes to the testes to make some testosterone. This could also be done in the adrenal glands or the ovaries for the females, or males in the adrenal glands also. So in women, the ovaries and adrenal glands produce the testosterone. Women's total testosterone levels are about 10th to 20th of men's. So yes, we produce at a much lower rate, but that does not mean it is not important. Our body does everything it can do to have it at an optimal level. Just because we have an abundance of a hormone or an enzyme or anything else does not mean we need more of it or it is more important. Even a little bit of something can be vital for our health. So in women, a little bit of testosterone is vital for our optimal health and optimal performance. Testosterone can be converted to estrogen in both men and women via aromatase activity. And this is an interesting aspect, which I'm going to go into a bit detail a bit later on. So remember that testosterone can be converted into estrogen in both males and females, which could be good, but it could also be bad. So the next topic is, why do we need testosterone? Why do we need it? Why is this hormone so important? So let's go into the role of what it does in the body. So in males, it develops the penis and the testes. So it's important in that reproductive aspect in males. It deepens the voice in puberty. It assists with facial and pubic hair growth also in males and in females. It assists with muscle size and strength, assists with bone growth and strength. This is very important, not just for males, but also for females. It assists with sex drive, for both males and females, sperm production in males, burning fat. This is key for some of you, as we know that you struggle with obesity or metabolic dysfunction. The testosterone is key for burning this fat. It is key for preventing muscle mass loss. So it preserves our muscles. And as I've said so many times before, muscles are key to life. It is a very good anti-inflammatory. It takes away the pain. So in the morning, if you wake up with some pain, maybe your rise of testosterone hasn't happened. It gives you the drive to go, go, go and complete those tasks in your business, in your everyday life. It secretes hormones important for the female menstrual cycle. It helps maintain a normal mood, consider normal, but a beneficial mood for us. And it also assists with red blood cell functioning. These are some of the things that testosterone helps us with. As you can see, it's not just male, it's not just female, it's both. We both need good mood. We both need bone density. We both need muscle mass. We both need a good sex drive. So an interesting fact about testosterone is this is taking it back to your business. So what I found an article that looked at young men who were traders, and what happened is they get a testosterone spike on days when they make an above average profit. So the testosterone goes up when they make higher profit. So in the mornings when the men's testosterone levels were higher than average, their average afternoon profits were higher than the days where their testosterone was low. So it suggests a cause and effect relationship. So this can mean that you can make a little bit more money if you have higher testosterone. Interesting, doesn't it? Because it links back to mood and drive. Very interesting. So this can help your business. Another interesting fact about testosterone is the link with sleep apnea. So individuals with sleep apnea are more likely to have low testosterone. So treating your sleep apnea issues may help increase your testosterone levels if you have sleep apnea. Another interesting fact also is that age isn't the only cause of low testosterone. Obesity is also. So the more fat you have on your body, the more likely you are to have less testosterone. So with more body fat, more testosterone gets converted to estrogen, and what happens is it future inhibits testosterone production. Interesting, right? So the more body fat you have, you're more likely to have less testosterone. So this is another reason why it is key to have the right body fat percentage on your body and muscle mass. So with all of this, what happens when our testosterone levels are low? What effects can this have? I looked into this, I looked into some research, I looked into some scientific facts, and I found out that it could have dramatic effects on your body, dramatic effects on your overall performance. So what can happen is you can hold more fat, which is what we spoke about. So, which means it leads to weight gain, it leads to obesity. What does obesity lead to? A number of chronic diseases, infections, inflammations, chronic diseases. This is what fat leads to. So what happens when our testosterone is low? It can lead to a number of things, such as fat gain. So the lower your testosterone levels are, the more likely you're going to have fat on your body, which leads to obesity and which leads to a number of chronic diseases, which leads to poor performance in your business, poor performance overall. So which also leads us to that you're unable to build as much muscle as you would if your testosterone levels were at an optimal level. So what that also means is that you're catabolic, you're breaking down. Because testosterone is an anabolic steroid, it means it builds things up, it recovers things. Because you don't have much of it, you're actually breaking down, so you're catabolic. You can have weakness, you can have fatigue, which is a lot of guys and girls struggle with, is fatigue, weakness, aches and pains. You have increased inflammation. As we mentioned earlier, testosterone helps with inflammation. So the less you have it, the more inflammation you're bound to have. You can have fertility issues. Your sex drive can go down low, which can also lead to fertility issues and other reasons also. You also have less sexual satisfaction. You also could have immune issues, fertility issues, which are what I mentioned. irregular menstrual cycles, vaginal dryness, loss of bone density, sleep issues such as sleep apnea, insomnia, and we know how key sleep is for optimal function. So in women, if their testosterone converts to estrogen, then it can cause estrogen dominance, which can cause a number of issues for females, including endometriosis, which are long, painful periods. In men, if their testosterone moves to each estrogen, it can cause man boobs, it can cause love handles, even prostate issues. And I'm sure you guys don't want that. So ensure that your testosterone levels are at an optimal level. So low testosterone has become an issue, a huge issue. So 40% of men over the 45 are affected. No one knows the prevalence of women that are affected by this because it doesn't really get measured in females as it does in males. So that's an interesting fact. So more of us are getting affected with low testosterone issues, but it's not really spoken about as much. So this is why I'm making this video, so you are aware of the symptoms low testosterone does. And now I want to talk about what you can do about it. So the reason why you've tuned into this video is to find out how to boost your testosterone naturally. Well, I'm all about homeostasis. I'm all about leveling your hormones, your enzymes, your functioning at an optimal level. Balance. More is not always good, less is not always good either. We want to balance it. So how can we balance your testosterone levels? So in women, we need to be careful with this because increasing your testosterone may in turn cause more estrogen in you, making you estrogen dominant. So the key is to reduce the testosterone turning into estrogen and freeing up that estrogen that is there. So it is used for the beneficials of anti-inflammatory, to build muscle and so forth that we've spoken about. But how do we do this? Well, the number one key is sleep. I know I keep talking about it, but I'm not going to stop talking about it because it is so important. Sleep is key in the management of testosterone levels. In a study published in the Journal of American Association 2015, investigated the effects of 1 week of sleep restriction on testosterone levels in healthy young men. Daytime testosterone levels were decreased by 10 to 15%. That's huge in this study. So, which means that sleep was restricted into 5 hours for 1 week and the testosterone levels fell by 10 to 15%. So this is making sleep a priority may help boost or maintain your testosterone level at an optimal level. And that is a natural way to do it. Number 2, which you probably already heard about, is training. A study in the European Journal of Applied Physiology looked at the connection between training and testosterone. Interesting. So, which concluded that physical active subjects seem to have more anabolic hormonal environment, meaning higher testosterone. So training is not only key for males, but also for females, because we need to ensure that our testosterone levels are at an optimal level at all times, so we get the most benefits out of it. Number 3, which you probably heard me talk about, is adrenal health. Adrenal health is key because what's happening is your adrenals are always in the process of making a decision of what they're going to do. Your adrenals are like, what am I going to do? Do I make either cortisol or do I make testosterone with the resources that I'm given? What do I make? You need to make this decision easier for them. So what that means is your adrenals use cholesterol to make these hormones. The decision is, where do I send the resources? Where are they used best? To make cortisol and keep me alive, or to make hormones such as testosterone and help with anti-inflammation, building and repairing. What are your adrenals making your cholesterol do? Are they making make cortisol? Are they making testosterone? So this is the key where you need to figure out. And this is why it's key to look after your adrenal health. I've spoken about adrenal health in many videos and what stress does to your body. So one of these hormones is anabolic and the other is catabolic. So one breaks down and one builds up, talking about cortisol and testosterone. So the body can't be doing both at the same time. It cannot be building and it cannot be breaking down at the same time. So the key here is to move away from the sympathetic mode and move more into the parasympathetic mode where you're resting and you're digesting. Okay, so that is key for your optimal health. Stress is a major contributor in imbalance of testosterone in our body. So a recent study in the Journal of Society and Behavioral Neuroendocrinology showed that when cortisol, a hormone released in the body in response to a threat, and I've spoken about cortisol so many times, I'm pretty sure I've got so many videos on it, the body is mobilized to escape danger rather than respond to influence that testosterone is having on behavior. So the research suggests these findings revealing new insight into psychological effects of stress and how they may play a role in fertility issues. So according to this research, chronic elevated cortisol, stress hormone, can produce impotence and loss of libido by inhibiting testosterone production, which is what testosterone is key for, fertility. It's key for a libido. In women, chronically high levels of cortisol can produce several fertility issues and result in abnormal menstrual cycle. So when cortisol levels remain elevated, in this case with so many people who are constantly stressed, the ability to reproduce can suffer greatly. These effects of cortisol in both men and women are reversed when stress levels go down. So adrenal health is key, and I'm not just talking about fertility. I'm not just talking about testosterone. I'm talking about optimal health and performance that we are striving for, that you are striving for. It is key to ensure that you're sleeping well. It is key to ensure that you're exercising. It is key to ensure that your adrenals are functioning at an optimal level. So now that you have it, I've given you a rundown on what testosterone is, when it's used, what happens when it's low, and what you can do naturally to ensure your testosterone levels are at an optimal level. Do you know someone who needs to hear about this? Do you know a woman who needs to understand a little bit more about testosterone and how it links to her health? Please share this video with them. Love, like, subscribe, do what you do best. I'm absolutely loving your support. Until next Monday, love you.